I just realised that my microphone was turned the wrong way around for the entire thing. Now, it was picking up my voice, but it's going to sound weird for like the first...
Is it going to be okay?
It still like picked up my thing, but it might be a bit echoey.
Yeah.
Just for the very first like half.
Shit.
Yeah. The main edit I had to do on your voice was the difference in volume between your laugh and your speaking. Like it was, and I don't mean to make you feel self-conscious or like it just made me laugh so much. I was like, this is so Megan, like this is just her like 2T.
It's a big, dirty, hearty laugh, so it is.
Yeah, big dirty laugh on her.
Dirty laugh.
Dirty. Welcome back to Rowan Pine. I've never in my life introduced an episode like that. I don't know why I chose to do it now.
Rowan and Pine.
Rowan and Pine. This is another guest episode with Guess Who's Back? Back again.
Yup.
Megan's back.
Hey.
Unfortunately, she's not back to do astrology part 2 because we don't keep our word.
We'll get there.
Apparently, we will get there. But I needed some Halloween episodes, and Megan was very kind to offer to do some, and then I came up with the idea, and then it just had to be her. It couldn't be anybody else.
Here we are.
Because you have your life experience with Halloween.
Yeah.
And our topic of today.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending on
yeah,
how you look at it.
depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into it for sure.
Yeah. Thanks very much to everybody who listened for the first time on Megan's first episode, because we got a little boost.
Yeah, I mean, I sent that shit to everybody, like all the females in my life, at work, my friend group.
I'm so glad you were proud of it enough to send it to people.
Oh, absolutely. I sent it to everyone.
Yeah.
Like DMs, WhatsApps, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, like across the board.
Like resurrecting old social media platforms just to message people to get them to...
They enjoyed it. Like, honestly, the feedback was great. People, like, thought that we both sounded very natural together. You could tell we knew each other.
Yeah.
And that we were like vibing away and like quite articulate about the way that we express ourselves, and they really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was nice to get the feedback.
It is. It's so nice to like when people listen, because that's the one thing about this. I know that there's people who know me who listen and they just never talk to me about it.
Yeah, like face to face.
Yeah, and I don't know if they feel awkward. I would probably feel a bit awkward if they brought it up, to be honest. So I don't know.
Would you?
I think so.
I was a bit like coy and shy now when they brought it up to me. I was, but very appreciative of it as well, because I didn't expect them to kind of give me feedback on it.
And your mind starts racing, going, "Oh fuck, what did I say?
Yeah,
like where did this come
immediately
from?"
afterwards, I was like overthinking the whole scenario.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, did I like mention something I wasn't meant to, or whatever it is?
But also, like, fuck it, you know.
Yeah,
that's what we're here for.
I meant to say, Ruth told me that she really enjoyed our episodes because she finds your voice extremely relaxing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever had that said to me.
Me? Relaxing? When I'm not shouting the head off something?
Yeah, an absolute fucking rag.
So that's another bit of feedback for you.
That's kind.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ruth.
Yeah, it's lovely to hear like random stuff that you wouldn't have even ever thought would occur to anybody.
Yeah, that's really kind.
Yeah. So yes, this is the first of, you're all very lucky, you're getting 2 main October episodes. You will have heard, hopefully, if I have my shit together and edit it, our first little short Pine Cones episode, which would have dropped earlier this week. That is about the poem Antigonish, also known as The Man Who Wasn't There. Are you familiar with that poem?
No.
Have you ever seen, this is like a freaking deep cut film, the film with John Cusack called Identity?
No.
It's a great film. I was actually trying to find a link for it. It's basically like, it's 10 strangers meet in the middle of a storm at a dead end motel in the middle of nowhere. And then they all start getting picked off one by one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But the opening of that movie is they're like reciting this like quite famous creepy poem. And it just goes, "Yesterday upon the stair, I met a man who wasn't there. He wasn't there again today. I wish he'd go away." So it's like, chilling. So I thought that actually really tied into this episode.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it really does.
Mm-hmm. And I've always had like a weird
so.
little fascination with that poem. I think what reminded me, I think they mention it in The Haunting of Hill House, that like Netflix series.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite, like, I was actually speaking to somebody in our DMs, Trish from No Other Crack podcast. And we were saying like, it's like a flawless TV show. It's like one of the best TV shows of all time. And it's just like a mini series and the cast is so good and all that. But it's like, I think they say that poem at some point in it because something I watched recently brought it back into my head. It. Yeah. So I was like, I really need to look into this poem. And so your short episode that kicked off our like spooky October content would have been our short episode on The Man Who Wasn't There. Now, today we are getting into shadow people. And shadow people is something that first time I ever heard of them was from yourself, from Megan.
When did I even talk about this is what I'm trying to figure out.
I think, do you know when I think it was? And this will make a lot of sense. I think it was, do you remember when we were in college in Dublin and you were living by yourself?
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you were saying to me that you've seen them your whole life, but you were like, I keep seeing them now when I'm by myself.
Mm.
And I think it was like, obviously, because as we'll get into it, it's like when people are going through stress or isolation or anything like that. And I think that's when you brought them up to me, and I had never heard of it before.
Mm.
And you were very matter of fact about it. You're like, yeah, my whole family sees them. And I was like, what? And you're like, yeah, my mum sees them.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I have never heard this, and I'm fascinated.
And it's funny because when you had reached out to me about doing this episode, you initially just sent, I think it was like a voice note or a message over WhatsApp, and like, come here, you see shadow people, don't you? Yeah. And I was like, yeah, man, and what? Like, you were like, right, well, I have an idea for this. So I was like, okay, cool, yeah, let's do it, let's get into it.
Yeah, because you did say that you were like, if you need any help with a Halloween episode, I'm your gal, and I was like, absolutely. And I just, same with astrology, I just wanted to find something that I knew would speak to you and be a good episode for you to do.
For sure.
Yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit about shadow people, what they are. Megan's going to tell you a little bit about her experiences with shadow people and how they manifest for her. And then we're going to get into folklore across cultures of like what shadows mean and the symbolism of a shadow and all of that lovely, juicy, factual stuff that I know I love going down a rabbit hole and thinking about and researching about and learning. Because it's the best part of this whole podcast. Apart from like sitting chatting shite with my friends for a couple of hours, like it's probably the second best part. Then
it's also so cool though to be going through notes and seeing that shit. This is like normal for quite a lot of people, and there's so much information about it.
Mm-hmm. Like that it's studied.
Yeah, like I never knew that. I was just kind of trotting along, thinking that nobody else really like has experienced this.
Yeah, you thought maybe it was just like a your family thing.
Yeah, you know, that kind of way. So then I'm sifting through your research and your write up about it, and I'm like, oh shit, like this is an actual thing. Mm-hmm. You know. Yeah.
Just a little bit of housekeeping before we start. We are in a room with a roaring fire, and it's quite hot. And also, there are two sleeping cats in here.
There's a couple of prits.
Yes, a couple of prits. Prits is what Megan refers to as cats, by the way, not pricks or anything like that. Yeah, I think there's only two of them. I think the third one bolted. So if there's any shuffling or random screaming, it's not Megan, it's the cat. I'm not like holding her hostage, being like, please record this thing with me.
I'm here against my will, don't listen to her.
Shadow people arrive at the edge of sight, nothing but an outline, a fast-moving silhouette that may suggest a human or animal, but never offers detail. They are flat and featureless, no face to read, no hands to grasp, only shape and motion. For many, they experience tastes of fear, a chill, a sense of being watched, the quickened heart. That instinctive dread does not, however, prove that they are omens of doom. Across accounts, people have tried to name what slips through their periphery. Some call them ghosts, brief, low-resolution impressions of the dead. Others call them demons or creatures of the underworld, pockets of malign intent that pass through a place and move on. Still others read them as psychic impressions, negative energy briefly lodged in a house, at a crossroads, a bedside, picked up by a sensitive presence, and then gone. The modern term shadow people was coined by paranormal researcher and book author Heidi Hollis, who claims that shadow people have been around since the beginning of time. There is no single explanation that fits every sighting. The shadow figure concept reaches deep into religion, legend, and folklore, from underworld denizens and ancient myths to modern tales of the Hat Man. Are you familiar with the Hat Man, Megan?
Only since going through this.
You've seen the Hat Man?
No, sorry.
Going through the thing.
Yeah, going through
the
the research.
Yeah.
Was never familiar with that term at all.
Yeah. So the Hat Man, we covered him a little in our sleep paralysis episode.
Yeah.
And he was literally the reason I wanted to do a sleep paralysis episode, because I remember seeing, I think it was like an old Channel 4 documentary or something, like late at night, and it was talking about sleep paralysis, which I hadn't experienced at that point, but I just thought it was fascinating that so many people in different places across different cultures all see the same man.
Yeah, have all seen this entity.
Yeah, which is fucking...
And it's strictly through sleep paralysis mode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bone chilling, like.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Like, terrifying.
And there's the night hag, and like some people see an old lady and all of that, which is...
Fuck, no.
I know. Sorry, the terror on Megan's face right now. I don't want to like...
And I mean, I've seen... Like, obviously, I'm here because I've seen some shit, but like nothing...
Yeah, nothing like as like detailed
as that, you know?
Thankfully, like, this will be like a refresher for anybody who's listened to our sleep paralysis episode. My sleep paralysis, what I saw was a young man in a hoodie, which is, I think, worse.
Because that could actually be
exactly.
real.
He was hiding behind the door.
Yeah, that could actually be somebody
and I was living in Dublin
to attack you.
Yeah.
Specifically in Dublin.
Yeah.
God love the place. And
so, I don't know, like, obviously it's your own brain conjuring it or like showing it to you. So it's going to show you the worst thing imaginable for you.
I think I had sleep paralysis once.
Do you?
Just once. And again, it was in Dublin. It was my first year. And I think whatever way I'd woken up, I was kind of half asleep. The corner of the duvet was like right in front of my face when I woke up.
Yeah.
And I thought it was some Romanian woman standing there, you know, because of the cloak.
Yeah, like a
the headdress,
sort of.
Yeah, because of the clothing that a Romanian woman would wear. And I remember like batting it out of the way.
Megan just wakes up ready to beat
like,
him.
What the fuck, you know? And then been like, that was the corner of my duvet. But whatever it was, in that mode, I was half asleep, half awake. I like freaked.
Your brain just like fills in the blanks and just
like to the most random shit ever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, once, and that would, thank God I never got it again.
Like the whole thing of sleep paralysis, and like Emily and I did kind of thoroughly not debunk it, but like offer a lot of scientific explanations, which you and I will also do in this. Which, whatever anyone's belief system is, if you want to believe in the science part, if you want to believe in the spiritual part, that's completely up to you. Yeah,
you just take it how it is.
Yeah. You know, whatever speaks to you, take what you need and leave the rest. The phenomenon also intersects medicine and neuroscience. Sightings appear in contexts as varied as sleep paralysis, dementia, and psychosis, suggesting the brain's machinery plays a role in shaping what we see. Some witnesses insist on malign intent. Others describe neutral or even benign encounters. Whatever their motive, if they have one, shadow people have been reported across decades and across cultures. The real puzzle is less whether they exist and more why so many human minds in so many places produce the same pale, shivering outline at the edge of vision. Yeah, that's the essence of what we were saying with the Hat Man and like sleep paralysis, is that there's, you know, people who've never spoken to each other and they can describe the exact same thing, you know?
Not. As we were talking about a bit earlier there, I didn't think that quite a lot of people had this same thing. Mm-hmm. I never talked about it really before because I didn't want to like people thinking that I was like weird and shit, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, have legit seen them since I was a child. Mostly within our household is kind of when it started. Yeah. And because you probably know from the last podcast, I was chatting about, you know, mom and dad been crazy, not crazy religious, but like fairly Christian. Yeah. They can like see them too. I'm not sure about my brother Jamie. I'm not 100% on him, but I know mom and dad for sure do.
Yes.
So when we would all, because more than likely we would all collectively see them at the same time.
Right.
Mum kind of claimed that don't be bringing those demons home from like either school or like a friend's house, or if I got in like an argument, or she seemed to think from her perspective that it was like a negative energy that I was bringing home.
So literally a shadow you were bringing home.
Yeah. But she called them demons.
Right.
Back when I was growing up. So you can imagine that's fucking terrifying for a child to believe that she has brought home a demon to her fucking household. Now,
and I know, can't help it. Like,
I know she obviously didn't intentionally want to scare the shit out of me, but it was like super terrifying as a kid because they are predominantly always male figures. One, to me anyway. Mm-hmm. And you kind of look at the side of your eye and think that somebody's like standing there or walking by or whatever it may be, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
But I can also see cats, which I haven't heard a lot of people talk about. Maybe, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I've heard of people maybe say, oh yeah, like, yeah, at the corner of your eye. But I also used to see cats in my home house, and now in my own apartment, cats.
Yeah.
Particularly my dear Huff, who I lost last year.
Yeah.
I see him.
Yeah.
Now he's like super close to his mother Willow in terms of colour, so I often had to look to see, was it her?
Yeah.
But she'd be like lying up beside me.
Yeah.
But I would have like seen, and for the first time, actual colours, like the black and white rather than just the black shadow.
Right.
And that's the first time that's ever happened. Usually it's like a black shadow.
Yeah.
That's kind of like whisking past your vision. But this time I could see like spots of white.
It was like...
And more of an
distinct
outline. And it was very, very distinct.
And like, that might sound a bit strange to anybody who doesn't have pets, but anybody who does have pets, you know their little energy.
Markings.
You know their markings. Well. You know, like, how they run.
Yeah.
You know, like,
their
the
movements.
way that they would scurry into a room. Like, you just know, like, anybody who has a cat or a dog or whatever it is, whatever sort of animal that's like loose would be loose around your house, you would know it out of the corner of your eye.
Yeah.
Like, I can tell which cat is coming down the stairs by the way they run. Like,
their sounds, everything.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I've seen no shadow people as such in my apartment because I've saged the shit out of the place.
Yeah.
To me, and I don't know if it's because of mum's instilling in my brain as a child, but to me it's a negative thing.
Right, yeah.
It would always come about when there'd be like shit happening in your life. You know, you would tend to see this kind of thing a lot more. Mm-hmm. Or where there's a space where there's a lot of energy flowing in and out of it. Yeah. Particularly where I work.
Right, yeah.
So this kind of story is a little bit more creepy because with the sightings of the shadow people, I call it the man that lives upstairs in the projection room.
Yeah, you started to tell me this and I was like, oh my God, you have to tell this on the podcast.
Now, Carrie hasn't ever claimed to see these things, but she...
Carrie's your friend who also works in the same place.
Who also works in the same place, one of my best friends. So she also feels quite uneasy in the same points upstairs within the projection room at my work that I do. Mm-hmm. Down by certain projectors.
Yeah.
And I have seen in the same spot all the time this like male figure, this male shadow figure between a certain part of projector 1, projector 2, or down by 5 and 6. Kind of at the back end of the building.
And what does it, like, could you describe it? Like, what is this figure doing? Like, are they...
Just like standing and walking, you know, it's almost like this floating motion.
Right, nearly like a loop or something that they're...
not really, more like a floating motion.
Okay.
But when you go to look,
Yeah.
it's not there anymore. Particularly if you've got your head down and you're in the middle of doing something, it is always out of your peripheral.
Yeah.
That you're seeing this. You're not seeing this dead set in vision.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you're like busy doing something and you kind of look again and then it's gone. But with seeing the man that lives upstairs, really, like, so much creepy shit started happening in the cinema.
Right.
When I started kind of getting those sightings, I guess. So there's a very slow closing door that goes into one of the screens.
Okay.
It's particularly designed that it doesn't bang.
Okay, yeah.
So it kind of moves quite slowly. It's got like a, I don't even know.
It's one of those hinges, like kind of like
hinge, that's the word.
Those kitchens that have like the quiet closure
yes.
thing.
So it's one of them, because naturally you don't want to bang the doors going in when there's people watching movies. But I walked past this particular door and I seen it slam in front of my face.
What the fuck?
And then, like, we used to like let people go if it was super quiet. This was all last winter, by the way. So we're coming into kind of winter time again. Place gets creepy. So I used to let some staff go, and because there'd be maybe me and 3 other people in the building, and I'd be like, I'll clean up, I'll do the bathrooms, whatever it is.
Yeah, like a cold night, you want to let people home.
You know, they're fed up, they want to go home. I'm fine with it. I need to make up hours, part of my contract, blah blah blah, whatever it is. So on 2, I think it was 2 separate occasions, the door slamming was me by myself in the building. I had just let one of the lads, Liam, go. And then the other one was I was letting Yulia go, and as she was in the hallway with me having a conversation, we could hear a child hiccuping.
Oh my God.
And then she ran away, and I was left in the building.
Yulia ran away, not the child.
Yeah, Yulia ran away.
Oh God.
And I was left in the building by myself. And we also have a hand dryer in the male bathroom that goes off by itself all the time. Just randomly. I'll be there during the day doing admin work. Nobody else is around, and this hand dryer will just start going off.
So does this feel different to the shadow people you would have seen at home growing up?
This entity, or whatever it is, feels a little bit more like it has ill intent.
Right.
Than just at home, like a friendly float around. Yeah. Although I always just deemed them negatively at home as well.
Almost like, well, the ones at home are a negative representation of something, but this one seems more conscious.
Yeah,
from
this
the way
one
you're
seems to be always there. Whereas the ones at home come and go.
Yeah.
Depending on the nature of that day within your household, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like whether there's rowing going on, or you know,
passing through to feed off the energy or something.
Or whether somebody is going through some shit, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's just because Mama has like instilled that in my brain as a child that you have brought this home. I don't know. You know, that could just be stuck in my mentality.
Well, that's the thing. Like I find that like delving into Irish folklore, that there'll be something that, like, say I grew up and my family told me that this means that in folklore or whatever it is, and then it's only when I'm actually looking into other accounts or like official records or like official books written on the subject or anything like that, it's like sometimes got the complete opposite meaning, and you end up going, whoa, like,
I'm trying to make sense of it.
And it's not exactly like, it's not as if your family have misinterpreted something, but it's just, it's the nature of these things. It's the way they interpret them, and it's the way that
they make sense of it.
Yes. Yeah. And it's the way the stories carry as well. One person will tell another person, and then sometimes it'll get a little bit twisted or moved around. The details are moved around a little bit along the way.
Now, there was another story that I had kind of seen, and I wouldn't really, because I didn't know what it was at the time. It didn't particularly seem the same as everything else, like this kind of shadow entity. We were driving up to Sligo when I was a kid, and you know when you're driving past, is it Drumcliff where W.B. Yeats is buried? Church in Drumcliff.
Yeah, it could be. No, there's a Drumcliff, but yeah, I think it could be Drumcliff.
Yeah, whatever area he's buried in, we drive past. It's the main road to Sligo.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
when I was a
You
kid,
can't avoid it.
I could see this white figure like opening a car door to go into it, but it didn't have any features.
Oh.
It was just a white figure, like solid, not even like ghostly or anything. It was like a solid white, like almost like the Michelin Man or something, you know,
Whoa.
but had no features, no nothing. And I was like, Mum, I'm just after seeing something in the car park. And she was like, you're just seeing things, you know.
Yeah.
But when you see stuff like that and your family's just like, you're just seeing things, you know, like you're like, no, I actually seen that.
Mm.
Like you're a child, there's no like sleep paralysis at play for me. There was no like drug use or alcohol use back then, you know, that might like alter your brain chemistry at the time. You know, you're a fucking child.
Yeah.
So you're
and
trying
you
to
be
make
a lot
sense
more
of
open
that.
to
Open to those things, you know. That I will never forget, and I can still see the figure to this day in my head as we're driving by. And I was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
You know? And like, people must think I'm mad if they seen me upstairs in the projection room of where I work. I'm like asking this thing that comes and goes, I just want to turn on the lights. Can you please just let me pass through and turn on the lights? I literally mean you no harm. Clearly you live here. Or whatever it is. They're always male though, like I said. I'll repeat myself again because I feel like males maybe search for truth. And maybe it's like a soul that's like trapped somewhere.
Yeah.
Trying to find truth because males are predominantly logically minded and they have a little, like, they have a harder time of moving on.
Okay, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, in my mind, am I like, is it like some kind of soul or energy that's like searching for meaning and trying to move on from this earth? You know?
And it could be something from like the site that the building's on or
because
whatever.
somebody did die there on that site.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I think there was a caravan park, I think, prior to and I think somebody did die there.
Oh my god.
So I'm trying to piece everything together and I'm like, oh Jesus, you know? Like it's fucking creepy.
That is creepy.
Yeah, like seeing a little huff around my apartment, I welcome that. I'm delighted that I can see his little shadow just popping up to say hello. But this one in particular at my work, and I've creeped the shit out of everyone by trying to say this to them.
Yeah.
At work, you know, and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And you're like warning them. And being like,
there's a man that lives upstairs and creepy shit's happening.
Yeah.
And the lights are glitching and I'm not fucking okay with this.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, oh.
So it's like that like felt presence sort of thing.
That's exactly what it feels like. And you can feel it.
Yeah.
You know, and it is that kind of feeling like you're being watched by something.
Yeah.
You know.
There's actually a name for it called felt presence phenomenon. And they have studied it. And I talk about it in our short episodes about the poem because they've managed to be able to replicate it in scientific experiments. But that's only a very recent thing. So I would say there are a lot of people giving their testimonials about like feeling a presence and feeling like there's somebody else there and they're not alone or they're being watched and all of that. So yeah, I don't know. Like, unless, like, it's the presence that's stimulating these things in your brain, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you could turn it back that way.
The thing is, like, you can't explain it as much. People can research it and, you know, they can come up with, like, so many different theories as to why it happens or why you can see these shadow people or why you have sleep paralysis, you know? Like, nobody at the end of the day fucking knows. It's just kind of there. You just have it or you don't.
Yeah, and you always find that there are exceptions. Anytime they're like, well, it's caused by this, there'll always be like one or two people that are like, well, that's not what happened to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or I wasn't experiencing that at the time, you know? So yeah, it's
like psychosis or something, you know, was another one that I was reading through the notes and I was like, no.
Yeah.
Like I still see it. I've been pretty much like, I was 4 years sober for a really long time, was still seeing these things, you know, and I feel a bit like relieved that it's not just like me, my mom, and my dad or something.
Yeah.
You know, that
there's other people.
there's other people and this is a genuine thing, you know. Because,
and there's cultures that even welcome them.
Yeah.
They want them. Like, yeah.
You know.
Thank you for sharing your shadow people experience. And I'm sure you can sprinkle in some more if anything comes up as we talk about this. But I thought I would talk about the global roots of shadows as like the concept and what they mean in symbolism and what they have meant, how they have shown up in different mythologies and cultures. So I, of course, wanted to start off with Greek mythology. We'll also be having a short episode. If I get my shit together, I feel like I should like just put that in the end of everything. A short episode on the Greek underworld. In ancient Greece, the dead were thought to persist as shades or skiai, phantom remnants stripped of substance, thought, and body. That's kind of depressing. Like after death, like all you are is just a little shade of yourself. Like just
some kind of entity.
Newly departed souls gathered on the shores of the river Styx, waiting for Charon, the ferryman. Those unable to pay his fee wandered aimlessly on the riverbank for eternity, while even those who crossed lived a bleak, bloodless existence in Hades. Shades appear vividly in the Odyssey, Book 11, the Aeneid, Book 6, and Dante's Divine Comedy, which, spoiler for the next episode of Rowan Pine. Here, shade becomes a metaphor for the liminal, caught between life and death, presence and absence, light and darkness. In Celtic folklore, we have the Buddock Glass. This made me laugh because every time I read Buddock Glass, I think of Bodak Yellow by Cardi B. Scottish Highland tradition speaks of the Buddock Glass or the Dark Grey Man, a death token that foretells mortality. William Henderson records a story of an earl who, upon seeing the Buddock Glass during a golf game at St Andrews, declared, "I can play no longer. Something fearful is going to befall me." He died that same night. Like shadow people today, the Buddock Glass is an omen, a fleeting, unsettling presence whose arrival suggests something just beyond human control. So what he was saying was similar to like a doppelganger, or in Irish folklore, sometimes they're called a fetch, where you will see, if a person's going to die, you will see an impression of them in a room where they are not. So it could be somebody, I've heard it before about people, say like you live, like I live with you, and I will be sitting like watching TV and Ewan will be out for the day and I could hear him coming home and saying hi or going to the bathroom or whatever, and I'm convinced it's him. And then I go talk to him and there's nobody there, and then he comes home.
Okay.
So it's like sending it out ahead of you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, it's like when people, they hear you in the house. Like exactly like you're talking about. Mum used to say that she could hear me and she'd be like, Meg, but I wouldn't be there because I'd have been living in Dublin at the time or something. But she'd like fully hear you in the gaff.
Yeah.
It's madness.
It gives me the chills. Like
crazy.
So across Europe, shadows were often linked to the soul itself. A person suspected of witchcraft, lycanthropy, or diabolic pacts might be tested by their shadow, because it was believed that one who had sold their soul to the devil cast none. Witch hunters would corner women they suspected to check if they cast a shadow. I just think like that's kind of chilling, like that if you don't have a shadow anymore. But I think, isn't there an episode of The Simpsons where Bart, I've just remembered, like there's an episode of The Simpsons where Bart, has he sold his soul or something, but he can't, like automatic doors won't open for him because he has no soul or something like that.
Treehouse of Horror ones, isn't it?
Yes, I think it is.
Like one of the Halloween episodes.
Yeah.
And he definitely has sold his soul. That was like I think I remember that episode.
Yeah.
I just remember the details of it.
Yeah.
But it was a very like regular topic in The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Especially for the Treehouse of Horror ones. It was always like something.
I just remember him trying to go in the doors of the Quickie Mart and they won't open for him. And Millhouse just like walks in past him. Like that's just what I remember. But that's just, for some reason, just triggered that memory for me. Shadows were also seen as vulnerable to corruption. People were warned never to let their shadows pass over a grave, lest death cling to them, or over a cliff edge where it could be lured away. Folklore held that shadow beings desired blood, needing it to be reborn, a chilling echo of modern accounts where shadow people feel vampiric or parasitic. In ancient Sumerian beliefs, the Edimu were spirits of the dead that could, quote, suck the life force out of people's bodies and drain the blood from household members. It's
Damn.
Yeah. It all connects, like, mad. Pagan traditions, however, sometimes took a gentler view. To see a shadow was not always threatening, but could mean the spirit had achieved peace, free to wander unbound by earthly needs. In this way, European lore reflects both the fear and fascination with shadows as living extensions of the self. I would say
an optimistic view, isn't it?
Yeah, but I would say that's, if you look at that, like, about how you're seeing Huff, your little cat.
Yeah.
It means he's at peace, he is no longer suffering, and he's just playing in the afterlife, but it just happens to be in your house.
Yeah, because there's nothing creepy about seeing Huff, you know.
Mm-mm.
He's just popping up to say hello.
Yeah, he's just like, how's all my friends doing? How's my mum
How's
doing?
Mama?
Moving on to Islamic and Middle Eastern tradition, we have the jinn. One compelling cultural frame links modern shadow sightings to an ancient idea, the jinn. In Islamic and Middle Eastern tradition, jinn are beings made of smokeless fire who usually... There's a sneezing cat. Smokeless fire who usually remain invisible to human eyes, living alongside us in a parallel unseen world. Paranormal researcher Rosemary Ellen Guiley argued that many contemporary shadow figure reports could be explained as jinn manifesting in a low-resolution, shadowy guise. She noticed that witnesses who report shadow people often describe other uncanny phenomena: poltergeist activity, alien-style encounters, even strange visitations across categories, which, in her view, points to a single shape-shifting force. Seen this way, shadow people are not necessarily ephemeral ghosts or malfunctioning hallucinations, but moments when a different order of being slips into our perception. Jinn lore already allows for moral variety. These beings can be kindly, mischievous, or malicious, which helps account for why some encounters feel threatening while others are merely strange. It's interesting how she has thought about it from all angles and given quite a compelling argument for why that could be the case.
It's funny because when I was reading this, I thought the same. I thought there's so many different realms that she's coming from with this. That okay, and it was like I was chatting about in my house. It's not necessarily like malicious, but I feel in other places it might be, you know, because maybe it isn't always going to be one. Yeah. It can be one or the other, you know.
It's a little bit like Emily and I touched on this a little bit when we were talking about how basically it was in, I think, our Bennington Triangle episode. One person's alien encounter could be another person's ghost encounter. Yeah. Or encounter with the Fae or the other world. It's all about your cultural perception and your framing and your life experience and what you think it might be. For sure. So if you believe in UFOs but you don't believe in ghosts, what are you going to think it is? Yeah. You know? Absolutely. It's all about your own perception. Oh, this was one that was completely new to me and I really like learning about it. In many African traditions, the shadow is tied to the life force or essence of a person. In Caribbean folklore, this belief merged with African and Christian elements, not elephants, to create the duppy, a spirit that could appear shadow-like, feeding on the living or causing mischief if improperly dismissed at death. Some duppies were protective, but most carried menace. Barry Chivanes described the shadow as an extension of a person's self. If separated, madness might follow. Stories tell of duppies that throw stones, appear as animals, or torment families out of spite. Yeah. So it's like somebody who hasn't been given a proper burial, a proper send-off.
He's coming back to
And they're like,
absolutely cause
fuck you.
ruckus. Yeah.
My funeral was a load of balls. Nobody was crying. These weren't sad enough.
I'm coming back from the afterlife
Yeah.
to fuck yous up.
Yeah, throw stones at you, or, you know, take the form of a donkey and like walk around outside your house. It'd be brilliant. The phantom, or moon gazer, meanwhile, is a towering, shadowy figure haunting crossroads or shorelines. So tall, he could be mistaken for lampposts. With legs spread wide, he waits for travelers to pass, then snaps his legs shut, crushing victims instantly. His whistle is the only warning. Yeah, I don't know how there isn't a Hollywood movie about the moon gazer. And yeah, just linking back to Crossroads, he's one of the entities that you can encounter at a crossroads, which is, as we know, a liminal space and a space of transition. It's a space of encountering things that are not of this earth. And I saw some like artists' interpretations of the moon gazer, and they're pretty fucking terrifying.
I'd imagine
Like,
so.
a lot of the times, like, all you can see is like the legs, and then like just it starts to get like very shadowy and blurry as it goes up. The Choctaw tell of Nalusa Cheeto, or the Soul Eater, described as Megan's like, Soul Eater? No, thank you. Described as a long, black, shadowy creature, but with small eyes and pointed ears. He creeps into the minds of those burdened by grief or evil thoughts, feeding on their souls. The Choctaw also speak of two shadows, the Shillup and the Shilumbish. I'm so sorry if I'm saying that wrong. The Shilumbish was the outer spirit or soul that remained with the person while they were alive and could leave the body during dreams. The Shillup was the inner spirit or shadow, which after death became a ghost, potentially haunting the earth for a period before journeying to the land of ghosts. A lot of shadow lore in Choctaw mythology. Yeah, that's Soul Eater. It's just, there's something quite like melancholy and sad about it targeting people who are already suffering.
Yeah.
And it's...
But I get that theory because, like, when I was speaking about my own experiences as a child or even growing up, it was when you were going through some shit.
Yeah.
That they would be more so. And like from my mum's perspective, yeah, it's when you are at an all-time low, this entity or energy catches on to you because you're vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and you're leaving yourself open
to energies, really,
Yeah.
you know? And like I used to think she was fucking nuts, but as I grew up, I was like, this bitch is right. Like, you know, so this Choctaw mythology and their perspective was one of the ones that kind of resonated with me a lot.
Yeah.
When I was reading through this, I was like, oh, damn, like it's dark, but...
And isn't it like a wonderful metaphor for depression? And the way it can really consume you. That like, if you let it get its grip on you,
yeah,
like it will literally keep consuming you until there's nothing left.
Darkness.
Yeah.
You know?
So whether that was intentional within the folklore or not, like, I don't know. But I just thought, yeah, that's super like poignant and like just a really strangely beautiful way of like interpreting what depression and like
and grief
and people who are like letting the dark parts of themselves take over. Yeah. This is why I love folklore, because you can interpret it in so many ways, and people from way back when were a lot more intelligent and insightful than a lot of people now, I think.
Yeah,
would give them credit for it.
I feel like they were more in tune. Whereas we in modern times kind of just pass it off.
Yes.
Or don't talk about it.
Yes.
Or don't come up with even an intelligent theory on it, you know, or a creative way to express it.
Or we tend to cerebralize a word, like it's just, well, this can only be this one thing, and they don't think about how it could be to do more with emotion or whatever it is. If there's something happening and it's manifesting in a certain way, maybe that's because of how the person's feeling. It might not always be an external thing, you know? So you were going to talk about shadow work and symbolism and the cultural significance of shadows.
Yes.
If you can.
Across cultures, shadows embody fear, mystery, and the boundary between life and death. They serve as warnings, moral lessons, or reminders to respect the unseen. At the same time, they symbolize our hidden inner world, the parts of ourselves that we'd rather not face. In Jungian psychology, the shadow self represents those repressed or disowned aspects of personality that dwell in the unconscious. Carl Jung described it as an archetype, an internal other that emerges in dreams, visions, or mystical states. Confronting the shadow is rarely pleasant. It forces us to acknowledge impulses, fears, and truths we have long denied. Yet Jung insisted that embracing this inner figure is vital, for the one who looks at the mirror of waters first is his own reflection. Only the one who is able to stand this spectacle and not recoil in horror can hope to move forward. This idea resonates with folklore. In German tradition, the afterlife itself was called the Kingdom of Shadows, a realm where souls lingered as insubstantial doubles. Linguistic studies even reveal deep connections between words for shadow and words for soul, breath, or sex. In Indo-European languages, suggesting the shadow has long symbolized the very essence of life. In Russian, for example, shin means shadow, but it is associated with a ghost of the dead, while in Breton, en means both soul and shadow. At the same time, shadows are not always malevolent. Some traditions saw the shadow self as a sign of peace, or even protection, echoing Jung's point that the shadow contains not only the dark, but also the hidden creative potential of the self. Shadows are our constant companions. They are infallible, intangible, yet impossible to get rid of. Ultimately, shadows reflect back to us our deepest anxieties and longings. They symbolize the unknown forces we cannot control, whether natural, supernatural, or psychological. To engage with shadow people, or with the inner shadow of Jungian thought, is to face the parts of ourselves and the world that resist easy definition.
I just think it's like shadows are such a hugely symbolic thing and such a massive part of like our folklore and tradition and history and all of that. Like I just love that it's become a whole branch of like psychology and psychological thought and all of that. I remember you bringing up shadow work in our astrology episode as well, and astrologers describe it as making the unconscious conscious, so seeing and accepting all parts of ourselves fully, including the bad bits.
Yeah.
Taking responsibility for these traits, habits, wounds, and coping mechanisms, faulty as they may be, and learning to manage or change them so as to minimize hurt and harm to self and others. So like that is how you can incorporate shadow work into, if you're into astrology, or if you're just on like a journey of self-reflection, if you have like those 3 principles. So really looking inward, making the unconscious conscious, taking responsibility for anything that you don't like that you're seeing in yourself, and learning to manage and change them and minimizing the harm to yourself and to other people. And that's very much your philosophy on astrology.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're sort of the opposite of like, well, I'm a blanky blank and I can't help it, you know? So
no, it's you got to sit with the darkness for a while and sift through that.
Yeah.
And try to come out of it unscathed.
Yeah.
Which isn't always the way, but a lot of scathing happens within the shadow work, you know, because everything gets brought up. It bubbles up. You have no other choice.
Using a shadow as a metaphor for all of this, I just think is really powerful, because we've been talking already and we'll talk a little bit more about, you know, the shadow in the corner of the room, and it's something that like feels foreboding and all of that, but this is very much about like making friends with your shadow, and welcoming it and thinking about how it is a part of you, and there are parts of you that you have to accept.
Yep.
You know, no matter how much you don't like them, unfortunately.
I think for me, it definitely symbolizes that you kind of are going through a bit of a darker time. Yeah, I guess you're within that kind of shadow work era.
Yeah. Because
that's when they start popping up for me, you know? So I know that, okay, And like you said, it's almost like a direct representation of your mental state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to welcome that.
Yeah.
And then try to almost like chase it away.
Yeah.
You know?
Welcome it, unravel it, and then
be gone with you.
Yeah. And cast it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's move into the modern day, because while shadow people are definitely creatures of folklore, they're part of living memory too. Most reports come from very ordinary people in very ordinary settings, and yet the details repeat with eerie consistency. In fact, shadow people as we know them today really came into the public eye thanks to late night radio. On April 12th, 2001, Coast to Coast AM host Art Bell, such a great radio name, this is Art Bell, interviewed a Native American elder who went by the name Thunder Strikes. That's an even better name.
Fantastic name. Yeah. When I was reading this, I was like, so badass.
So cool. The response was overwhelming. Listeners flooded the show's website with hundreds of sketches, people from all across America drawing the dark, silhouetted figures they'd glimpsed in their bedrooms, hallways, or out of the corner of their eyes. Later that same year, author Heidi Hollis, who I mentioned earlier, published a book that popularized the very term shadow people. She became a regular guest on the program, describing encounters with these beings and even suggesting they weren't ghosts at all, but malevolent extraterrestrials, aliens cloaked in shadow. That interpretation divided people, but it spread the legend far and wide. One figure that emerged from these reports has since become infamous, the Hat Man. Described as a tall silhouette wearing either a fedora or a wide-brimmed hat, sometimes with glowing red eyes, the Hat Man is consistently linked to experiences of sleep paralysis. Intriguingly, even people in drug-induced delirium, particularly from large doses of antihistamines, so that's your Benadryl babes, report almost the exact same hat-wearing shadow figure. Benadryl is no joke. I took Benadryl and went to work one time in Canada and had to be sent home. It was that bad. I tried to count the same $5 bill about 8 times. And, like, Zach, who I worked with, was like, Neve, please just leave. I was like, okay.
Why a fedora, though, is what
I don't know. I don't know. It must be, yeah.
It's like some kind of, like, hipster ghost.
Yeah, it's like something... big fan of Indiana Jones or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's a very distinct silhouette for whatever reason. But beyond media frenzy and folklore, we also have some personal testimonies. So these are some that I found across the internet. One of the most vivid modern accounts comes from a writer named Ian Spike. He tells it like this. Growing up, he lived in a family compound. After his mother passed away, he and his father remained in the main house, while his brother and his brother's wife lived in a smaller house on the property. When Ian was a preteen, he moved into a small room behind the kitchen, a place that gave him a little more freedom and independence. One night, sometime between 6 and 8 in the evening, he was lying in bed in the glow of a single lamp. He wasn't asleep, just daydreaming. Suddenly, he felt that creeping sensation that he was being watched. He turned his head toward the window and saw a figure staring back at him. At first he thought it was one of his cousins playing a prank. The figure was child-sized, with a short, spiky hairstyle, like something out of a 90s boy band. But the body was completely black. No skin tone, no eyes, no features at all, just darkness. He got out of bed and moved closer to the window. The figure didn't run away. Instead, it receded, perfectly in sync with his steps, as though it were copying his movements. But it wasn't flat, like a shadow. It had a 3-dimensional depth. Annoyed and thinking it was a trick, Ian threw open the door and ran outside. Right then, he bumped into his brother, who had been walking over from the other house to get food. There was no time for the figure at the window to have slipped past them unnoticed. The yard was fully fenced, the bushes too thin to hide in. Yet, when Ian searched the area with a flashlight, there was no sign of anyone. Only later did the shock of it hit him. He might have seen something supernatural. Over time, Ian reflected on what it could have been. Was it a ghost? Maybe, but ghosts are usually translucent, not darker than night. A demon? Possibly, though he hadn't felt fear, only irritation at being mocked. An alien observer? A trickster fairy from Philippine folklore like a Encanto? Each explanation felt possible, but none fit perfectly. And what stood out most was that the figure had been child-sized. When Ian searched online later, he couldn't find other people describing child-shaped shadow beings. Most people saw tall figures, sometimes in hats. His sighting seemed to be an unusual variant, and he's never stopped thinking about it. Ultimate nightmare. I cannot deal with looking out windows.
No. Or mirrors at night.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if it was completely dark. I can look outside when it's bright, but just not when it's dark.
No.
God.
No fucking way. You can't say I've ever come across a child-sized...
For you personally?
Yeah, shadow person.
But yeah, the whole thought of it just mimicking and being like mirroring his movements and being a complete, like, just kind of trolling him a little bit. Like, ugh, absolutely not. No, thank you. So we have another shorter one. This is MJ Wayland's story. Another account, this time from MJ Wayland, blends dream and waking terror. In her late teens, she began to experience violent nightmares, dragons thrashing in pools of blood, mocking figures, cloaked beings demanding her silence. One night, while laying in bed, she actually saw one, a cloaked shadow darker than pitch. She felt herself paralysed, unable to scream, while a voice in her head commanded, "Come with me." The faceless figure stretched out phantom arms towards her before vanishing. Her account is classic sleep paralysis, with the immobility, mental intrusion, shadow intruders, but like Ian's, it left her shaken. See, the one thing, like this said here that it's classic sleep paralysis, but usually in sleep paralysis, they don't speak. So the whole thing about it speaking to her.
Fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that. Absolutely. Come with me. No, go away.
I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah.
Lad. Get to fuck.
I am fucking going nowhere. You couldn't even get me out of bed to go to the shop. Like, definitely not coming with you, cloaked figure man.
With looming arms.
Yes, absolutely fucking not. So, looking across these reports from anonymous blogs to late night radio and Reddit threads and sleep studies, several things line up. Sightings happen at night, in dim light, or during sleep paralysis. The figures are solid black silhouettes, often faceless and featureless. Is that how your shadow... Can you see through them at all?
No. They're not translucent, really.
Right.
It's kind of like a solid shadow.
Crazy.
If that makes sense. Like, it almost like looks like the shadow on your ground.
Mm-hmm.
But on your ground. Like, on a ground. Like a shadow that is, you know, the sun is shining and your shadow is kind of following you. It's like that, but up.
Okay.
In real time.
Interesting.
Like eye level, you know. But always far away. It's never like close.
Yeah.
From where we're sitting.
Yeah.
The distance is maybe that table's between us, you're over on the other couch. Or particularly further away. And why, sorry, I don't know what bit you were reading, but it's always in fucking bedrooms and hallways. It's always in hallways for some reason. I wonder, is that because it's like the area that you pass through?
Yeah, hallways are a liminal space in your home.
Yeah.
So they're a boundary and doorways.
Yeah.
Do you see them in doorways?
No, but I see them in going from one area to another. Like if it's a big room, but you know that there's like an evident line in that room. Yeah. You know, that separates the two. Mm-hmm. You will see it in that crossover between one room to the other. Yeah. But it's like, let's say my kitchen or living room or whatever.
I mean, like one thing that I'm definitely picking up from this is there are so many different like interpretations, and like there's some people that seem to be convinced that the Hat Man is a shadow person, and then other people are like, no, that's exclusively sleep paralysis. I see shadow people during the day, and like you know, like you see them.
Yeah, but it's also so hard to explain. Yeah, yeah. Like it's so hard to explain that to somebody who hasn't seen that before or something. You know. Yeah. It's really hard to articulate it in a sentence or a paragraph to explain like what the fuck it actually is. Yeah. Or visually how you see, because it's a split second. It's not. Yeah, it's not hanging around. And describe it. Yeah, it's not hanging around for you to be able to get all of the details of like the outline or the you know, because there are no details. It's just like a flick of a fucking light switch and it's gone.
Yeah.
It doesn't hang around, you know.
Yeah. No, it's just so like fascinating that like not everybody sees it, but there's a subset of people who do see the same thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They almost always appear male or indeterminate. Feminine shadow people are vanishingly rare, which you have said a few times now.
For sure. It's rarely a female that I have seen, a female figure. It's predominantly male.
Fear and paralysis are common, though not universal. Sometimes the response is curiosity or confusion instead. And finally, interpretations vary. Depending on who you ask, these beings are ghosts, demons, aliens, fairies, or something else entirely. Whatever they are, shadow people occupy that unsettling borderland between folklore, neurology, and the paranormal. They remain one of the most reported and most debated mysteries of the modern age. So because, you know, it would feel like a bit silly to talk about this and not talk a little bit about the neuroscience that people have theorized and tested around this. Scientific perspectives suggest that many shadow people encounters are best understood through the interaction of neurobiology, psychology, and culture. One of the most well-documented mechanisms is sleep paralysis. In this state, an individual awakens during REM sleep while the body's natural paralysis persists. The result is a waking consciousness layered over dream imagery, often accompanied by an overwhelming sense of dread. Research indicates that approximately 40% of individuals who experience sleep paralysis also report hallucination, most commonly of shadowy human figures standing in the room, pressing upon the chest, or otherwise approaching the sleeper. These intruder hallucinations are not simply visual, they frequently involve tactile and auditory sensations, producing an intense immersive experience. But that also is not exactly shadow people.
No.
As we have been talking about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
strictly... But they do seem to be, in a lot of the science around it, they do seem to be always lumped together.
Tie in with sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
Or at least maybe it's, you know, this scientific side of thing, the logical mind trying to make sense of it and tie in the two together.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's unexplainable.
Yeah. I was guesting on the Thick Thighs and Creepy Vibes podcast.
What a cool name.
Such a great name, isn't it? On Monday. And I was talking about the witching hour, so the hours between midnight and 3 a.m. And I was diving into a little bit about that, and I mentioned this on their podcast, but I saw a video from the Museum of Tarot who were talking about how people basically scanned brains during like sleep and all of that there, and they found that like there's a lot of sleep paralysis and like ghost sightings and stuff around the witching hour. It's so prevalent in folklore. A lot of ghost stories are like, you know, so and so was out walking at midnight and they saw this or whatever it is. But they said that like they scanned brains, and whatever way they tested that your brain shows theta waves during that time. So these brain waves are the most similar to the way your brain behaves when it's under hypnosis, because of the stage of the night and your circadian rhythm and the way that your sleep cycle works.
Mm.
So are you, depending on your interpretation, are you more suggestible or are you more open? Are you seeing things that are always there?
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think that's fascinating that like biologically our brain behaves in these cycles.
Yeah,
like we all know that our body like goes through cycles, women especially. They found like a reason why your brain might be seeing these things or sensing these things that are already there.
It'd be interesting to ask other people that see shadow people, do they sleep with the fucking light on?
Yeah.
Or a light on?
Mm-hmm.
Because I do.
Yeah.
I am like fully at nearly 35 years of age afraid of the dark. And it's solely because in the past, when you were a child, you are trying to go to sleep and you are seeing these kind of figure things and you're trying to make sense of stuff in the dark. And I was like, fuck, no. Yeah, I have a hall light on all the time. Outside the room, just to crack cracking in so that I'm able to see everything. But often, you know, something's hanging on the wardrobe.
Yeah.
And you're like, Jesus!
The hooded figure.
And then you're like, oh no, it's just my massive winter hoodie.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Closely related are out-of-body experiences, which can also emerge during these episodes. Neuroscientific studies show that disrupting the temporal parietal junction, a region of the brain critical for constructing a coherent body schema, can reliably induce the sensation of floating outside one's body or observing oneself from a third-person perspective. In dreams, this region is naturally less active, which may explain why the self can fragment or relocate during sleep paralysis. The shadow person, then, may be understood as a projection of one's own body image, instability, in liminal states of consciousness. I am so happy to say I've never experienced that. I think I would probably go insane personally if I saw my own self.
Looking at yourself.
Looking at myself. Like,
I've had, what's the word? Fuck. I think of the word now. Dissociation. A lot. But that's not like...
I've never experienced dissociation and I find it very hard to understand.
It's so hard to explain as well.
Yeah,
but
I've looked it up because I have like yourself and other friends of mine who have said that they have it and they've experienced it and all of that. I find it very hard to understand, if I'm being honest. And I feel like it's one of those things that unless you've experienced it, you just don't
But it's not a visual thing. You know, people often explain it like you're looking at yourself from outside of your body, but it's not that at all. It's like when you start to overthink reality, you get completely fucking freaked out that you even exist and that you're a being and that, I don't know, it's so hard to explain. And then you get like overly anxious about the fact that you're even fucking alive.
Yeah, well,
you know?
The one, like, this tiny glimpse that I can liken that to is when I watch anything to do with space. I start freaking out about how tiny I am in the fucking
grand scheme of things.
I mean, there's people that are, like, really nihilistic about that and they can get great comfort from, like, I'm so insignificant.
Yeah, the fact that we're nothing.
Matters.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people. I'm just like, everything's so big.
But, like, the visual perspective of you physically looking at yourself.
Oh.
When you're fast asleep, but you're like looming over the bed looking at your own body. Like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Sleep paralysis sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
And like, I do know a couple of people that get it quite badly. And they explain it to me and I'm like, oh my God, because it's like they cannot wake up from it.
Yeah.
But they are very much awake at the same time.
Yeah.
But they can't move their bodies. And then all this shit is happening in the room. And it's usually like this, like looming fucking shadows creeping over them or trying to fucking kill them or something. And you're like, what? I'm just very grateful that I don't go through that. I mean, I've done some pretty mad shit in my sleep, as you know.
Do we even want to get started on Megan?
I don't.
Her nighttime adventures?
And it's so funny because Jamie is the exact fucking same. Like,
really?
With nighttime wandering and stuff like that. But thankfully, I don't think either of us have experienced sleep paralysis. Just like we are fully asleep, going fucking nuts in our sleep. I was staying at Aoife's house and I was sharing the room with her friend. And I was like pulling back and forth the curtains next to me.
Yeah.
Attached to the fucking wall, basically trying to rip them off. And the thing is when somebody wakes you up out of that, you are like so disorientated.
So yeah, you'll batter the pillows or you'll sit up in bed. You don't talk, but you do just make some like speech adjacent noises. And then it's kind of like Frankenstein's monster or something. Like a lot of grunting. But like, yeah, I know what it is now, so it just doesn't faze me. Like, I always forget that you do it, and then I'm sleeping in the same room as you, and I'm like, oh yeah, there she goes again.
Anyway, we digress.
We digress. Another important factor is pareidolia, the brain's tendency to detect patterns, particularly faces and figures, in ambiguous stimuli. So this is like people saying Jesus in burnt toast. Or they'll see like a face in the clouds, or you'll see, you know, whatever it is. That's what pareidolia is, if I'm saying that right. In low light, a coat stand, a curtain, or even a pile of clothes can be misinterpreted as a humanoid presence. From an evolutionary perspective, this bias is adaptive. Better to mistake a shadow for a potential threat than to overlook a predator in the dark.
I liked that bit because it was like, okay, this is just
It's your body protecting you.
stemming from being a human being.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Psychological and psychiatric variables also play a role. Visual hallucinations of shadowy figures are documented in conditions such as schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, and are frequently reported during episodes of substance-induced psychosis. Megan sent me a very angry voice clip about this back when I first asked her, would she talk
Was
about
I
shadow
angry?
people? You were like, I'm a bit put out by this because I don't have schizophrenia. I was like, I know you don't, but you say shadow people. Like, I think online is saying I have schizophrenia. I'm like, I don't think that's what you have, Megan. I would love if I could like find the voice clip of you like stomping home from work going, saying I have schizophrenia. Sleep deprivation, stimulant abuse, for example, methamphetamine, and an anticholinergic delirium, for example, excessive diphenhydramine, can all induce vivid experiences of moving shadows or looming presences. Extended sleep loss alone, sometimes even just 48 hours without rest, shout out to our new parents out there, God love you, can cause shadow-like figures to populate the environment. Neurochemically, these effects are linked to dysregulation of dopamine and serotonin, both of which influence perception and threat attribution. I did not know that about dopamine and serotonin.
No, Jamie used to call it the rats.
The rats?
Yeah, if you were like on the beer,
Like
and
the
you
horrors?
yeah, and he used to call it the rats.
The rats.
Because you wouldn't have slept and you'd start seeing shit because you're that hungover and fucking tired.
Oh, your brother, isn't he a neuroscientist?
He studied it, yeah. He definitely studied it.
Yeah, the rats. I've not experienced the horrors, but I remember when I was new to drinking as a teenager and older people talking about it, like, and telling me like it was inevitable that I would get the horrors. Like, and I've never gotten the horrors where I've like hallucinated or like they were saying, oh, you'll be like trying to fall asleep that night and you'll see like worms crawling over the walls and stuff. And I was like, okay.
The rats.
Yeah. I've never experienced that like because of alcohol.
I would get the fear, but I would never experience like hallucinations.
Yeah. And now I do have like after a night of like if it was like a heavy night of drinking, I would struggle falling asleep. Like I'd be twitchy and like can't get comfortable and like just feel very, very anxious and all that there. And that's on top of the fear, like thinking that you're...
Yeah, but the horrors and the fear are two very different things.
Yes. Yeah. So the horrors are more like nearly like a psychological...
a visual thing.
Yeah. Like you can literally... Every time you close your eyes, open your eyes, whatever it is, you cannot help it. Like you'll keep seeing things. Whereas the fear is more what my Canadian friends would call padding, post-alcohol depression, PAD. Yeah, so they'd be like, I'm padding hard. Post-alcohol depression, yeah. I would be like, what? And then, oh, the fear.
Whereas we call it the fear.
Yeah, capital T, capital F, the fear.
The fear.
The fear.
Do you remember
you saying it like the Viper.
Oh, no, do you remember that Owen Colgan skit about the fear?
No.
Oh my God, it's the most hilarious thing about like a hangover. And he films himself in the bed and it's like this voice talking to him, being like, well, man, I'm the fear. You're a fucking shit person. Your family hates you and you've no house, lad.
Is Owen Colgan the Viper? Because that sounds like the voice that you're making.
He's part of the Hardy books, yeah.
The Viper. The Viper.
No, he's not the Viper. He's the ginger lad.
Oh, the main guy?
No, the other kind of red-haired guy with the shaved head. I can't remember his character's name. Yes.
The guy who said, I met my father. And basically talks about how he met his father for the first time and they had a fight and then parted ways.
Yes. Yeah, him.
Hardy Books is an Irish, like, it was a web series. It's kind of like Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
If anyone's familiar with
that.
The
Irish version.
Yeah. They had like a web series and then they had like a TV show.
An actual show.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to watch it.
I must watch
it. His name is so funny.
That is something Ewan would like to.
The fear.
The fear. Encounters with shadow figures may be understood as confrontations with the unconscious, projections of what is being denied or suppressed. In this sense, the phenomenon is both perceptual and psychological, a misfiring of the sensory system entwined with archetypal meaning. Which I think that's sort of where we're landing on it. It's like your brain is doing these things, but it's also like there is a greater meaning and there might be a greater sensitivity that you're experiencing. So after all this, what are shadow people? We've traced them from ancient myth, the insubstantial shades wandering the Greek underworld, the ominous Buddha glass of the Highlands, the Choctaws soul-eating Nalusachito, and the restless duppies and phantoms of the Caribbean. We've seen how cultures across the world connected shadows with the soul, the afterlife, and the danger of the unknown. Shadows became warnings, messengers, or embodiments of imbalance, the unseen forces just beyond the veil. We've looked at the cultural continuities from the jinn of Islamic lore, shape-shifting and unpredictable, to modern shadow figures that slip between categories: ghosts, demons, extraterrestrials. Each explanation reflects not just belief systems, but the human need to make sense of liminal experiences. We've explored the psychological and neurological underpinnings, sleep paralysis, pareidolia, hallucinations triggered by sleep loss or chemicals. All of these help explain why so many of us report nearly identical encounters with a figure at the edge of perception. Neuroscience shows us how fragile our sense of body, self, and other can be when the brain is in unusual states. Jungian psychology reminds us that our shadows might not only be out there, but also inside us, the repressed parts of ourselves that emerge in unsettling ways. And then there's the modern folklore. The Hat Man, the childlike figures, the hundreds of stories sent to radio shows and forums. The accounts are eerily similar, always dark, often male, never quite identifiable, usually encountered in dim light or in states of vulnerability. These testimonies remind us that shadow people are not just a relic of the past, they're still with us, haunting bedrooms and backyards alike. Perhaps that's the power of the phenomenon. Shadow people sit at the intersection of science and story, psychology and folklore. They're part hallucination, part cultural inheritance, part archetype, and maybe something more. Whether we call them shades, duppies, jinn, or simply shadows at the corner of our eye, they remind us of a truth as old as myth itself. What we fear most often lives in the spaces just beyond what we can clearly see. Ooh. And that is our episode on shadow people. So yes, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope anybody listening goes and checks out my guest spot on Thick Thighs and Creepy Vibes. It is episode 75, and they're doing a whole month of witchcraft and witchery. So be sure to check it out and leave them a comment, show them a little bit of love, tell them we sent you. As for Rowan Pine, as I mentioned, this is our first of 2 main episodes this month because we always go hard for October. We will also have another short Pinecones episode. Our other main episode will have a, let's say, very familiar voice. I'm sure you can guess who it is. So be sure to keep an eye out for that and enjoy the rest of your October. Thank you, Megan, for helping me out once again and sharing your experience and being vulnerable with us.
Thanks for having me.
And it's definitely not going to be the last time that you're going to be here because we got to do astrology part 2.
Part 2, bitches.
Very soon. Keep an eye out on your feeds for the rest of our episodes. Go follow Megan because she'll be tagged in all of the promo for this, and go look at her beautiful photography. And thanks for listening. And until next time,
Folklore.
Bye.
Bye.